I don't think I've told you I'm off almond milk after being, almond milk being my milk of choice for the last many years. As I got at one point completely off all dairy, which I'm not now. But couple big reasons why off almond milk. One, every almond milk brand that I've ever found has some sort of thickener and emulsifier in it that I have seen there is at least reason to think that they could affect gut health. And I just don't really like the idea of eating something like that. And the one brand that didn't have that, that doesn't have that just has water and almonds basically in it, is extremely expensive for a very small bottle.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let me try going back to just regular actual dairy milk. The other thing is too, almonds take an insane amount of water, like
Yeah.
any other crop, and it's really not. This is a secondary reason for me, but it's like really water intensive, not great for the environment stuff. And it's like, do I really need almond milk that bad? So let me try going back to regular milk. And I have gone back and got brands that sell milk that is just A2 milk. And A2, there's two types of um, beta casein proteins that cows, certain types of breeds of cows produce. And there's A1 and A2. A2 is a closer corollary to human milk and often gives people who have dairy digestive problems a little break. And the A1 protein is one that's been more associated with some of those, like, indigestion and bad digestive symptoms from dairy. So I went back and A2 milk, whole milk, let me try this, and haven't noticed a thing at all digestion wise or anything. I like the idea of it. Milk is actually milk. The almond milk is not particularly nutritious. It's just kind of there to replace milk, mostly just water. And there is, natural sugars and stuff in dairy milk. So if that was like a concern for you, which it's not really for me, and the calorie content, like in the whole milk, is not. And I get extra protein in that milk. I think it's 8 grams per cup, which is a nice little boost when I add it to like a shake or something. So I have no plans to go back to almond milk, or I tried oat milk and other stuff, and like it just none of it, is particularly great or nutritious. And so I think I'm back on regular milk.
Yeah. Breaking news here. Caught me off guard. I have no defense of almond milk.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've had the same thoughts. I mean, I try to get the ones that have the least ingredients. It is crazy expensive. It's so what do you use it with? So I use it with any shakes I make, and when I make oats, when I make oatmeal, and the shakes I don't notice a huge difference, water to milk. If I make shakes with, like, nut butter, honey, the shake.
Yeah. Well, so
Um,
if I'm making a shake that's just protein powder in the liquid, you can definitely tell the difference between just
yeah,
water and milk. If you're making a
sure.
shake with frozen fruit and nut butters and seeds and whatever else you want to put in there, greens and stuff, I don't even think I could tell the difference between water and almond milk or regular milk or anything. So,
Yeah. But the oats, I do taste a big difference. I mean,
oh, for
it's
sure.
definitely different.
Yeah.
And then, so do you use the milk with oats?
I have not had oats. I just haven't had oats since I started drinking the dairy.
Okay.
So I can't report how that, I'll have to report back how that goes. But it will be better than water. Oats and water are no go for me.
Well, so we had I don't know why this happened, but in Australia, we were making oatmeal with whole milk, and it burned on the pan very weird, and it created like this film, and it just turned me off to try it for the rest of the time that I was there. So I didn't have any oats when I was there. Um, but yeah, that's what I've been wondering. And then I also wanted to dig into the A1 versus A2. Like, does it say that on the carton, or do
Yeah.
you have to? Okay,
Yeah. It's
and is that hard to find?
It's not the easiest thing to find. At Whole Foods has a couple different brands, and yeah, it's definitely the thing. Like I think one of the brands is actually called A2. The other one is like a smaller farm that also, it's clearly branded, marketed A2, A2 milk. So there's no mistaking it. For the others, the like regular dairy milk, you don't see, it doesn't say A1. It's
Yeah.
it's just what it is, mostly A1. It can be a mix of A1 and A2. This stuff is all A2.
And so that's the type of cow, or is it how it's?
It's the A2 is the type of beta casein protein in the milk. Different breeds of cows produce different different beta casein proteins. So some breeds of cows produce all A1, some produce a mix of A1 and A2, some produce all A2. So if they use the milk from, presumably these companies say they're using milk from cows that is all A2 producing cows. And so what you end up with it as the finished product is, this is a milk that is only A2 beta casein protein.
And I'm guessing that's usually goes pretty hand in hand with like a grass-fed, pasture-raised
No,
cow.
well,
Not
there's
always.
no. That I think that's really completely separate from it. It's,
Okay.
it's literally just the breed of cow. The
That's
usually,
just what I was thinking was a farm that would pay attention and care enough to get A2
yeah,
exclusively would probably care enough to also have grass-fed or
yes.
pasture-raised.
So yeah. So one of the brands that I've bought is I just see that it's grass fed A2. The other brand seems like it's a little bit bigger brand. They have only, they're called A2. They only have A2 milk, but then they have a just A2 milk, and then they have a grass fed A2 milk.
Okay.
So there is options there, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, you would think that somebody paying attention to that is probably more, or a company paying attention to that, it's more health conscious. They're,
Mhm.
you know, probably going to skew more towards better quality, which seems like it's mostly true, but they do have non-grass fed, just regular A2 milk too. So
All right. Well, I think you might. I have some whole milk in the fridge right now, so I got to go check and see if it's A1 or A2. And you may have convinced me to give it a try over the almond milk again. I mean, I've known for a while almond milk is really nothing special,
yeah,
and it is way too expensive. And I did know that it takes a ton of water to grow almonds. And so there's a lot of good reasons in there to go back and try regular old dairy milk, but specifically the A2. So I think you've given me enough. You've given a good enough pitch. You've convinced me.